Hello, hello, hello. It's Monday in upstate New York. We're out here in the woods. It's like 48 degrees and raining. It is a day of dampness. Goes right through to the bones. I've had the wood stove burning all day because I don't want the heater to come on. I'm cheap. Oh. So anyway, this is Tom Noedner, a conversationalist. One of the last on the planet. You know, that guy that will talk but won't argue? Don't they make you furious when they do that? You want to get into it physically and never real calm. I love doing that. I love seeing people's heads, steam out. Anyway, listen, like, subscribe, comment, and share. I didn't understand about that share button until like, I don't know, a week ago. But since I've been doing it, I've been getting, on other people's things, I've been getting a lot more responses. People really appreciate you sharing. So share some of mine and I'll send you a note saying what a great person you are, even if you aren't. Because I can lie. I'm an American. We lie. I'm an American. We spend money. I'm an American. We eat too much. I love that lady gets on there and does that. She does all these different topics. So like I said, it's raining, it's damp. The disease, bacterial infected minions are downstairs playing their video games, so I don't have to deal with them. Cooper is not back from his training session, so it's been a little over 2 hours. He's usually gone about an hour and a half, so I imagine either he got away from them, which is pretty funny, get away from the trainers, or he needs extra training because he's being, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I figure halfway through this podcast, he'll show up and want some attention. So get ready for that one. Oh, man, there's so much. All weekend, the only stories I see is about money and guns and high explosive bombs and laser designators and every, accoutrement to war you can think of. And we're sending it out to Israel, to Ukraine. What was the third one, Josh? I had a third. Oh, Gaza, the Palestinians. Come on, guys. Hello? Is there anybody out there? Are you getting upset about all this money? And I don't just mean money, I mean equipment, which is, $3 million trucks, and we send a dozen over.
Hold on. Let's not go too fast, right? Let's bring up some numbers. Okay. On a Google search of how much has the US spent on Israel, the headlines read US spends more than 20 billion in aid. Report finds the US spent record 17.9 billion. US spent record 17.9 billion. US spends record 17.9 billion. And these are from Al Jazeera, the Times of Israel, Newsweek, the AP.org. Okay. So the next Google search is how much has the US spent on Palestine? The U.S. spends more than $20 billion in aid to Israel. Middle East conflicts report. The United States announces $404 million of additional humanitarian aid for assistance in Gaza, the West Bank, and the region. Report in 1 year more than 100,000 deaths in Gaza, aided by $17.9 billion from the U.S. And then Ukraine, right? So it says here, how much has the U.S. spent on Ukraine? And although this says the U.S. Secretary of Cooperation with Ukraine, to date we have spent more than $61.3 billion in military assistance. So that's a lot of billions. It's a lot of billions to cover.
Yeah, but you say billions like you're saying a $10 bill. In my life, $100 had meaning. It was, I don't know, you could do almost anything on $100 back when I was growing up. And then I got older, probably in the 80s, and $1,000. I had $1,000 in my pocket. God, I could do anything, right? If I wanted to go down and get on a $69 air flight down to Mexico, and I could stay down there for $29 a day and eat all the street food I want and cervezas, get sick and, come back for $69. You know, it's uh, I can't believe. I mean, forget about Generation X and millennials. You guys have already had your chance and you blew it. I'm talking about Z's and alphas, okay? And even the squirts that are. What is the next one, Josh? Do we know what the next group's going to be? Is that going to be like uh, Pussy Willows or something like that? AIs? I don't know. Did anybody give it a designation? That'd be fun to Google.
Yeah, let's find out.
Anyway,
So, generational age groups. They call this traditionalists born from 1925 to 45, baby boomers 46 to 64, Gen X 65 to 80, millennials 81 to 2000, Z's 2001 to 2020. And I guess we haven't gotten into the next one.
well, Alpha's on a list I saw already
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, but I mean after that one.
Uh,
So
so, so
Bravo,
do I get
Beta.
to name? Wait a minute, because I thought of it first. Do I get to name them? I
I
mean, if we can prove the copyright date,
That's
that's
true.
another story. Oh,
Like
by the way, everybody's pointing at me because they all ran up the stairs and they're pointing and they're pointing to uh, my aortic T-shirt, and so I got to fix this. All right, I got to do a commercial because these minions will come over here with their greasy, dirty faces and hands and infect me, and I don't have the dog to protect me. But that's another story. Oh, anyway, so let's get back on topic. Vote, vote, vote. If you don't vote, you don't have a dog in the fight. If they don't do what you need them to do because you voted for them, vote them out. Vote them out. That's your power. That's your superpower. Even stupid people can do this. All you have to do is put an X or punch a hole, give it to the people, and they put. That's all the requirement is. And we always, save up a little money for pizza afterwards. You know, if the schools aren't teaching you to vote anymore, and the parents aren't teaching the kids to vote anymore because the parents aren't voting. Oh my God, you guys, who's running the country? Do you understand we the people? Do you understand the difference between democracy and I pledge allegiance to the Republic of the United States of America? If you don't, go back and look at one or two of my videos. I went all over this. Just, ooh, you're not paying attention. You guys are going to stay after class. Now, when the French teacher said that, I was really happy to stay after class because for an older woman, she was put together. I have the distinct privilege of being the only person in my family that failed French twice. Once on purpose, and once because I never took my eyes off her. It's terrible, isn't it? Where a young guy goes through hormonally.
that
Anyway,
does
I'm off the
sound like
topic.
both times on purpose.
Yeah. Well, the first time was definitely on purpose so I could get back in her class, but the second time was just lust. Anyway, so I got to do that. I had to do the vote. Everybody loves that. Why? I think I look like a maniac. Anyway, dun 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 dun. Josh, when we get the voiceovers done, I want something like that. I want her to do some kind of like, you know, when I have to get back on target. Okay, so commercial. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Not only me, because I'm not that shameless. I'm doing this for somebody else. St. Jude. St. Jude. Been there forever. The guy who started was named Danny Thomas, and he loves cigars. I wish he was my father. He seemed like the coolest guy in the world. Got to see him. I didn't meet him, but I did see him. He was at the Victory Theater, and he was on a publicity tour and I don't remember whether it was a movie or TV show, but they would go on the stage before the movie and they'd show a movie behind them, and like a trailer, and they would talk you through it, and it was a big deal because you got to see Hollywood movie stars. So, all right, let me. Oh, the chitlins are going to be screaming. All right, so like, subscribe, comment, share, leave a note saying that I pushed you here and that I'm holding one of your family hostage until you make it good. Um, okay. Hey, we just did St. Jude. You know, if you don't think these people are doing good, you don't know what good is. Then you got another group, a little small, but just as dedicated, and it's all run by survivors of aortic disease. Get that, guys? Not aortic dissections, not aortic aneurysms. We have our own disease because we now have our own organ. Yay! What does that mean? Probably more insurance costs. Doctors can bill more. Anyway, that's another subject. And then we like, subscribe, comment. Sure. What did I do, Josh? Aortic Hope and St. Jude.
Now let's
Who am I
go
missing?
to The Weight of My Heart.
The Weight of My Heart. All right. Just found this one like maybe 8 days ago. So I went down the rabbit hole. It wasn't last night. I think it might have, and I watched a lot of their videos, and they're really good. Well structured. The people are direct, and the questions are poignant, and the answers are very quick and direct, and the whole show flows. So like I try to do with my 8 minutes, they naturally do, and it's really what a great presentation for a great organization. So send them some, I don't know, rob a German tourist and send their money, Deutschmarks in. I don't care. Just send these people some money. And then the last one is, Josh, help me out with the name.
The last one is Rock from the Heart.
Oh, Rock from the Heart. Guess what, guys? Had it all planned to go out, but there's a conflict, so I can't go to the one right now. I got to go to the one in May. But it will keep peace in my house. I won't wake up with pins in me from the Celtic witch. Red hair, green eyes. You know who I'm talking about. She almost didn't make her week-to-week contract this week. It was really tight there in the end. If it wasn't for her minions, she would have been voted off the island. Anyway, so let's get back. All I want to talk to you about, and I got this pretty organized, so hopefully I'm not going to be all over the place. Got really good notes.
All right.
Money.
Hold on. All right. Before we move forward, I'm getting a little feedback. Is your volume turned up a bit higher than normal?
This should have been done.
The microphone itself.
Squeeze me. I've got to come down here.
Oh, there you go. You found it.
This is the thing that they adjusted because they were listening to their devil music earlier today.
What's the devil music?
Anything that these rugrats listen to. I don't discriminate. Just like my father did with rock and roll. He didn't discriminate. He hated it all. So I hate it all, even though I like it. That way controversy starts and we have some fun in this house.
Rock on. I love it.
If we were all just walking around agreeing with each other, how boring would life? Wait a minute, you got me off the track.
Yeah, we're just getting started. We've done our commercial.
So what else do you want to throw out there before I do this?
Oh, that was all. It just started to show up. Yeah.
Because I don't want to have conflict with the wizard. Nobody gets in to see the wizard. Not never, not anyhow.
I love the new banner, by the way.
Huh? What's that?
I said I love the new banner, by the way.
You would. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I'm like, what am I, 14 minutes into this show, and I still haven't gotten to the meat of it because I'm doing all this other chronic yapping. All All right, so let me start off. Is it all right, Josh? Can I start? All right, good. He just gave me the finger again. Oh my God. You're lucky you are where you are, and I can't just come over and take that finger and make it like a corkscrew. Anyway, money, 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 money. Money is good. Money is needed. Money is a tool to get anything you want with. That's all money is. It's a tool. You dig a ditch, you make so much money, you go out and buy a Porsche. Because nobody wants to dig ditches, so you got to pay those guys like $500 an hour. You understand? That's a joke. But today, finally announced, Labor Department announced that the new class of millionaires are contractors in electric, plumbing, and HVAC. You know, that's hot heating and cooling. That's the new class of millionaires. Within the next 5 years, it's going to tip the scale, just like the boomers tipped the scale, and we're still tipping the scale, both by numbers and because we're fat. But that's another story. Oh, wait a minute. Josh, you didn't. Oh, what are we paying you for? Keep me in track. Oh.
I liked where this was going. Trade schools should make
no, I forgot something. I got to go back. Rewind. Start again. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Aortic Hope. The boss over there is this girl named Karen. A little wacky, but a lot of fun and really good heart. And she announced on the weekly review, I think they call it, she announced that she wants to put a podcast together and wants to talk about things other than aortic hope and dissections. And I understand that. That's why I got into it, because I just need an outlet for my chicanery. Chicanery. You know what that word means? Look it up. We have fresh well water. I mean, spring water in a glass. Not a plastic cup, not a paper cup. In a glass. That's how you drink. You don't drink out of a plastic bottle. You let the dog drink out of the puddles. Get it? So Karen announces that she's going to put a podcast together. Oh my God. If this thing isn't fall off your chair hysterical, I don't know what's going to be better than this. Because you're going to have people and you're going to have, you know, standard dialogue, but then you're going to have the added bonus of Karen, and nobody knows where that's going to go. And she can't ask one question. She's got to ask three in a row. And it's like, wait a minute. You know, but she's entertaining is what I'm trying to get to you. So shout out to Karen. Get that thing up and rolling. I can't wait. I use those kind of videos, what you're talking about, in the morning. You know, I do my exercises and then I get a cup of coffee and I do this, and I go into YouTube and get comedy, you know, shorts, which are going to be longer now. You understand that? The shorts on YouTube are going to be longer. I don't understand, but that's not my job. That's what we pay Josh for. You know, he gets 4 cents for the week. I mean, what else does he want? He came to this country, didn't even speak the language. Anyway, so, hey Karen, get it done. So let's go back. Dollars, dollars, dollars. Does dollars mean anything to anybody anymore? My dad came back from World War II. I swear to God, from the time he went to war and then almost 5 years later when he came home from war, my grandparents saved every nickel in case he came back crippled and they had to build a house they could live in and take care of him and all. That's how these people thought. You understand? This is my grandparents. The ones that all, my grandmother got off the boat. My grandfather got off the boat a little early. these people didn't waste a penny. They saw a penny on the ground, they picked it up. Today, we don't even glance at a penny. If it isn't a half a dollar, and if it is a half a dollar, it's glued to the ground, so you look like an idiot trying to get it up. I've done that. It's a funny joke. Funny joke. You sit there at a little wine cafe and you glue half a dollar to the ground. Oh, it's just, and some people try to cover it with their foot, and other people just kind of try to kick it. That was before all these comedy recordings and putting them on YouTube. Now they got bushes that jump out at you. But these guys are making money. Do you understand that? Do you understand? They have this ability to open up the world, and they're so creative and they're so thoughtful and then they get they must have people like Josh because they get it organized. So it's like these components all come together and you make money. I'm trying to explain to you that money is just a tool to get what you want. Whether you're digging a ditch or you're digging data or you're, whatever, emptying porta johns, you're making money to get what you want in life. If it's another step up, you're making money for better clothes and education, so you have the opportunity to go up. Which now, if you're in the trades, that's a better way to go up than the, college level. But that's another story. I know, Josh, I'm getting back online. So, money, money, money. So, where does the government get their money? A lesson in civics. It is important that you understand that the federal government, the state government, the county government, the local government, your village, town, or whatever you live in, gets money. They're broke. They have no money. They produce nothing to sell for a profit. Therefore, they have no money at all. Let me go over that again. The federal government, the state, the county, the little village you live in. None of those people have any money, and they don't get money in, but from one source. You want me to guess? Do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to just leave you in suspense and talk to you about it next Monday? Because right now I'm not getting too many comments, so somebody better wake up. And I know you're out there. Don't make me come to your house. Anyway, they get the money from the people, we the people. And they get it on many levels, okay? Look back and see what the taxes were just in, let's say, the 50s. You don't have to go back to 1800 or 1700 or whatever. Just go back to the 50s. We're just talking, what, 70 years ago? Look, guys, not only is your dollar worth less now, some economists say 70 cents, some economists say 75, so I always say 70. The dollar that I owned in 1960 is the same dollar you own, but I had like, I think 94 cents, what the dollar really represented, and you have 73 cents. But it's the same dollar. I don't know why that's such a hard idea to get through your head. What, Josh?
We've got a statistic here from the bots.
Oh,
it says here,
dun.
United States taxes in the 1950s. Google's bot says the average tax rate on the 0.1% highest income Americans was 50.6% in the 1950s, compared to 39.8% today. The average tax rate on the top 0.01% was 55.3% in the 1950s, compared to 40.8% today.
So they're taking a percentage-wise a smaller bite, but because everybody's income and sources of income have gone up, they're actually getting more money, is what we're saying. Okay.
And inflation is the hidden tax.
Right. Well, every time the inflation goes up, who pays for it? Not the local grocer, not the congressman. No, we the people. I love saying that. We the people. Everybody gets it. I don't have to say taxpayers. I don't have to say stupid people that don't know you can make money digging a ditch nowadays. I just say we the people. The gummy is starting to work. Anyway, so if we agree that everybody's broke and the only way they have money to spend, take money in, take and spend it out, just like you do. You make a salary, you make a paycheck, you go out and come home, and you don't even have enough money to, stand one poker game, one hand of poker, or maybe you could buy a half a six pack of beers with whatever you got left today. I mean, it's like in the 60s, I walked around with $25 in my pocket, and I was a fat cat. I was fat too, but I had money, honey. I could do anything I wanted. Then, 4 or 5 years later, it was $100, and beginning of the '80s, it was $1,000 in my pocket. A trip down to Mexico was like $69. You could stay down there for $29. You could, eat street food until you got sick and then gone home. I mean, do you understand? Everything was doable. You had kids, you had a wife. The wife wanted to work, sure. If she didn't want to work, it didn't matter because you were making money. Not only were you making money because everybody had a job, but you were making money because you had skills that you could do on Saturday and Sunday. See, that's what we thought. We thought, oh man, gets me out of going to church and I make some money. Honey, I got a job on Sunday. See how you work that towards your, forget it.
No, I like it. I like it. But we also have more responses here from the bot here. So $25 in the 1960s was like walking around with $265 in your pocket.
See, the fat kid was right. Anyway, let's get back on the subject. So everything that all the governments spend is your money. Now to my Z's and Alphas. You understand money. I know you do. You know why I know you do? Because you're gaming and it costs money. It costs money to get the game. It costs money to get the, the box, the controllers, the latest controllers. I got a friend that has a chair. Oh my God, he's going to be 48 and he's got this chair he sits in. I swear to God, he took over the basement den. I guess I don't call it anymore then. Man cave, whatever. He moved all the studio chairs that he had like a little theater, he pushed them to the side, put this thing. The only thing I can think of, do you guys remember Mork and Mindy? No, you don't. It looks like a big egg that somebody cut out. So you're sitting in this chair, right? And he's connected. Now he's got 4 screens, like in a square 4. I think they're like 32-inch or something like that. Anyway, they're pretty good size. And he's the exact distance from the screens that he needs to be with his corrected lenses. How did he get there? Of course, through an app. And then he had it all set up and he connected it and it worked great, except there was like a delay. What a delay is, I don't know, but don't tell me because I don't want to know, because it's another thing that will be running around my head. And as we know, stuff is in my head, it comes out my mouth. So anyway, I mean, he just comes home from work. Oh, the reason I'm telling you this is because he works for the government. So his whole salary we pay. And all these gizmos we pay for. Because it's all research, because this is what he does. What does he do? He patrols the social media or some shit like that. I think he sits there and goes over, different social media sites.
He's part of the nanny state. You should call him a nanny state operative. Let's see how he takes that.
Oh, geez. Why do you give it? I'm too old for homework. I got to write it down or I'm going to forget it. Nanny state. Okay. I don't want to know what that is, but it's going to get a rise out of them, right? Okay. It's written down, I'll do it. Let me get back to my show. Fuck. Oh, shit. See? More money in the cuss jar. Why? Because people just don't let me do my thing. Everybody's got to have their 2 cents in my life. So taxes. Come on, guys. I don't want to beat this horse to death because it's too serious a topic for me to make light of. You got all these congressmen and senators and president and Supreme Court, and they have a whole crew of people behind them. Some have 15. If you're the Speaker of the House, you might have as many as 120 minions at your control. So these people all have to be paid for, right? I mean, I'm sure there might be a few that have grants, so they're doing internships, but the majority of them getting paid, right? This is a pretty. If you figure out how many senators and how many congressmen, even multiply just by 20, say the average office has 20. That's a big number. And then because they live in Washington, D.C. or around that area, do you know they get a bonus? Because if they live within a certain number of miles. It's like you could go to Hoboken and be a baker for, $60,000 a year. But if you just go across the river and go into the city, now you're going to make $80,000 a year. Just by, a ferry ride or a bus ride, or if you want to swim in that East River. Not me. Anyway, so you can make, 20,000 more a year just by going over. So it proves out, what that proves out is that money's just a tool. You can't worship money. You can't make money your God. You can make as much money as you want or as little money as you want. If money's not important to you, then guess what? Make enough to live and go on vacation. I have a son that does that. Don't understand it, but did I tell you my daughter is 26 years old and hasn't voted yet? Oh my God. I haven't confronted her about it because I don't know how to do it, and I really don't want to do it. And yes, I'm a coward. Whenever there's a 12-step program for coward fathers, it would work for me. All right, so obviously the federal government has grown in size. And we're talking about the Senate. We're not talking about the president. The president, I don't know, you guys didn't have Howard with security had like 56 people around him. Right now, 56 people, fit in a little corridor, and there's 28 corridors full of people that take care of the president. I'm just saying that, the federal government has grown. And then look at what we did with the 3-letter agencies. Oh my God. In the 80s, a career politician came in and they brought their people along with them. And when they grew in the government, like Biden for 42 years, who lied on his resume. You know what? I was doing a deep dive. He lied. He got caught. Oh my God. How did I not know that this guy faked his resume? Why isn't that like all over the internet instead of him falling or him stuttering or wandering around on a stage? Put up the paperwork that says, Senator Biden was called before Congress, whatever. Least worse. Remember? I don't care who you vote for, just vote, but least worse. Oh. So the post office, right, has always made money from the day they opened up the post office to today. Now, I know they report that they don't make money, but listen to me. There is so much money siphoned off of the post office and Social Security to balance the budget it's astronomical. The numbers are astronomical. The post office, you would think in this days of uh, social media and Zoom and Teams and doodahs, everybody would do things electronically. Well, it doesn't seem to be that way. Not only people don't send first class letters anymore. They send a priority package, and it's like anywhere from 7.95 all the way up to $20, depending on weight, whatever. And a lot of people do that. Why do they do that? Because they can put a tracker on it automatically, and they know when it gets delivered. And if there's a dispute or whatever later on, they have that evidentiary uh, piece of paper that says, "I know you got it." But that's what they do, and then they obviously send packages because they're still cheaper than everybody else. If you look into the numbers, the post office is still the cheapest way to go. Might be and I'm not saying it's maybe a little bit slower, maybe by half a day or a day, but let's face it. If you need something that fast, go get it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God, I just lost it. Z's and Alphas don't go out. They DoorDash and Uber Eats and We Deliver and why should you?
I got a good little piece of information here.
All right,
Okay.
smoke it.
Google says the US Postal Service lost 6.5 billion last year. It predicted it would break even.
So who just gave you that stat?
That looked like CNN and Reuters. They both
Where
had the
did
same
they get it
headline.
from? They got it from some government agency.
Hmm.
And what they're telling you is they lost this much money. But oh, by the way, we
Well,
stole
but
eight.
in order to lose that much money, they have to have the opportunity to generate nearly that kind of money, right?
And sin.
It's like asking a bank that only does $20 million a year how much money they lost. They would lose about 20 million if that's how much they do per year, right?
Right,
That's the
right.
maximum they
It's a
could
logic.
lose, right? Yeah. So we're still talking about an organization in the U.S. government that can generate billions of dollars per year.
Right. And what I'm trying to along that line is to show you how since the early 80s this has snowballed on us and we're still paying the bills and how we can correct it. See, I don't come to you with the problem and then leave you hanging. I always come with at least one or two corrective actions. And then hopefully that leaves you thinking and then you get in touch with me like, like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm begging here. The holidays are coming up. I got 10 rugrats running around this house and probably another 10 rugrats from the neighborhood. Christmas is expensive. I hate Christmas. I much prefer Thanksgiving, football, overeating, over drinking, over smoking cigars. I mean, if there's a holiday made for guys, it's Thanksgiving. We go out and get the turkey and then we eat it and then we play football and we throw up. We're men. Oh my goodness.
I have an interesting Google here.
Uh oh, here
I'm
we
going to
go.
share this with the world right now. This is a very interesting thing. I
Okay.
googled while you were asking you were talking about how much the government's grown. How much has the U.S. government grown since the 1980s? The
Okay.
very number one news response here is climate change indicators, wildfires, U.S. EPA. The second is USA Facts. How much revenue does the federal government collect? And the third item here is by the Council of Foreign Relations, US aid to Israel in four charts. So we're asking a question of Google, and these are the responses that this search engine publishes in front of us.
And do you expect anything more on the subject? Would you expect Google to have a algorithm that would tighten that up and give you what you asked for instead of all this extraneous bull?
Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
come on. if I've been taught one thing in the last 2 years, uh, we used to start out by when I was going over to the senior center. Yeah, I go to the senior center with all the old farts. But those old farts have more money than you do, and we play poker, and you couldn't sit in the hand. It gets so hot. Anyway, that's another story about senior citizens. Other than nursing homes, senior citizens centers uh, have more venereal disease than the population at large. Look that one up. That will shrivel your little winger. Anyway, so you get out here, right? So obviously the Congress has grown and Senate support staff's grown, but the three-letter agencies have grown. Are you kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me? How much money do we give the CIA every year? Now remember, I'm going to get into the lowest bidder when we talk about Pentagon, but for right now, just for right now, the premise that the CIA was organized and put out there was to lie to foreign governments for information back to America. And somewhere in the evolution, someone decided that, well, if we can make this X number of contacts and money, maybe if we spy on, let's say, our friends and we spy on the American people, and we can really do a good job and everybody will love us. We're the CIA. We don't tell you anything, and if you ask, we're going to lie to you. That's their mentality. That wasn't the mentality in the beginning of it. It was to protect the American people from the German onslaught. And now it's this big octopus. And they live in a palatial building that has the most secure grounds you've ever seen. You got to literally have to go through like many checkpoints. You don't go through one or two checkpoints. You go through like, I don't know how many, but I'm not going to give it away either. But, and even the bullet catchers, the first line of defense have guns. Usually, you put them out there, stake them out like deer and see who shoots them. That's called early warning. It's also a joke, bullet catchers. Oh, Jesus, you people are so damn slow. Did you not eat dinner yet? Anyway, so here we go. If you think about it, how much bigger today is the CIA compared to the end of World War II, say like, I don't know, the 60s? How much bigger is the FBI? Like, oh, here we go. The FBI, guys. J. Edgar Hoover, this guy who convinced the president that he could set up a domestic agency that could oversee the welfare of the American people. The welfare of the American people. The minute he got his organization together, what did he do? He spied on everybody within the American government that could be an enemy. That's the first thing he did. Second thing he did was he decided to spy on everybody. And everybody meaning, local office holders, business people, people that run, say, like an electric station or, oil transfer or gas transfer sites, own those companies. Because he wanted a dossier on everybody. He didn't want anybody to come for him that he didn't have enough facts to either back him off or to burn him in hell. This was a megalomaniac at his best. Okay? This guy, when he appeared before Congress, when he appeared before the president, because he never would appear out to the American people, because it's a small group and you can control a small group. If you start doing it in front of millions of people, it's bound to get out of control. So it's a methodology is what I'm teaching you here. I'm teaching you methodology along with economics. So if we get rid of the CIA, well, everybody's going, oh, how will we know what's people? We don't know now, people. These people don't have to report to anybody. These people make no monthly, quarterly, yearly report. You understand that? There's a select committee, I think it's 9 people now, that congressmen and senators oversee the CIA, but they're sworn to absolute secrecy. They can't tell anybody anything about what they heard. So 4 months later, and these old people that have the Senate seats, they don't even remember what they had for breakfast, let alone what went on in this meeting. What I'm saying to you is, again, government has grown to where it's clumsy, it's not efficient, it's just running on a bunch of fat, like I am.
All right, so Google has a little bot answer here. How much bigger is the CIA and FBI since World War II? Since World War II, both the CIA and FBI has significantly increased in size, with the CIA experiencing a particularly dramatic growth due to the Cold War, expanding its operations and workforce manyfold compared to its pre-war predecessor, the Office of Strategic Services, OSS. The FBI also saw a substantial increase in personnel, particularly during the Cold War, to combat domestic threats related to espionage and counterintelligence. They do not give us numbers or anything to look at.
Of course not. They control the stats. You think they're going to willingly put them out there? Because what they're saying and what the stats are saying are obviously two different things. But if only they're speaking and you don't get to see the stats, that's the only barometer you have to judge this by, right? Right. And the American people fell for it. What I'm saying to you is, we've gone from a government by the people to a government of professional politicians that have corporations behind them. I'm talking corporations. What do you think a PAC is? Sure, it's a 501c, but I'll tell you right now, it's run like a money-raising corporation. These PACs put in so much money. I mean, if you came to me and said, look, you're going to make $148,000 a year, you're going to be elected for 4 years or 6 years, whatever it is, 2 years, and on the side you're going to make like $4 million or so, and we'll guarantee you, your wife's dream house wherever you want it. Because all you got to do is, this is Mr. X, and he's going to tell you how to vote. As long as you're voting how Mr. X here, who is what we call a body man, he's there to make sure your suit's clean and your tie's not crooked, body man. So he'll get a phone call just before the vote or a note, and he'll tell you just how to vote. Who wouldn't take that deal? I mean, come on. I'd take it. And that's basically what everybody in politics today have done. They've just sold their soul for money. And I understand that. There was a time in my life I would have sold my soul for money. Oh, I forgot about this one. Israel. You know what we just did? I can't believe that this is in the headline news. People aren't screaming about it. We sent over the latest missile defense. They look like trucks, but they're bigger than trucks, and they're never mind, Google it. However, normally we send everything over there, and their people, shoot it, drive it, blow it up, whatever, right? Whatever it is, fly it, helicopter it, whatever it isn't Americans doing it. It's their people. For the first time, these missile batteries are going over with American crews because they're so sophisticated. One, it takes years to learn how to use them. And the other thing about it is priority technology that Israel has already stolen from us. Our friends Israel, yeah, they spy on us and they steal things from us. while we give them billions of dollars. Not millions, billions. God, is everybody out there? You need to walk around for a minute, get a cup of coffee. Stay with me. I only got 10 minutes, so I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to close it up, and I'll have Josh yell it up. All right, so let's round this off. So if you got rid of 80% of the FBI, I'm telling you, it's just like Elon Musk getting rid of 80% of the people on Twitter to go to X, and the reason being is nobody was watching the chicken coop. So people were putting in to have assistants, say, I need 3 assistants. So they send it down to HR. And HR has been told, whatever our people need, get them. Until it grows to a business that 20% of the people run, actually work, and 80% are just showing up. So if you get paid to show up, who wouldn't do that? Come on, be honest. If instead of working in a commercial kitchen for 40 years, if I could have got paid for saying I worked there, but not work there, kind of show up, have coffee, donut in the morning, and then whatever. But I couldn't do that. But a lot of people seem to be able to do it. And if you take it down to its nitty gritty, it's really, you do it too. If that opportunity came up to you, you'd do it too. And if you're saying no, I'm sorry, you're lying to yourself, because I'm telling you, the fat kid would do it in a heartbeat. Because the way I did it, first off, nobody should have to work like I did when I first went in the kitchen. Not those hours, not as hard, not cleaning. I swear to God, I spend 2 hours cooking and 6 hours cleaning. I mean, I keep my kitchen spotless, and I make people use a toothpick to get in the seams, and I come around with a flashlight. I always tell them, get a flashlight, get one of those headlights, so because I'm going to bring a light around, and I'm going to see a lot more than you do if you don't have a light on it. You see, it's your mentality, what your job is, and how well you're going to do it, or whether you're going to show up or not. Because obviously at Twitter, these people were showing up or not, and still getting paid. So that's another reason why it's been an easy path for you, and I see why you went down it. And believe me, if I was standing shoulder to shoulder with you, I'd do it too. So
Let's bring to light here something called the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. It's the principle that states that 80% of outcomes are the result of 20% of causes, and it can be applied in many areas of life, including work, personal life, and decision making.
So, once again, you have another fact that brings you to the same conclusion. And I know this sounds naive and it sounds old world. To act upon your first impression in anything in life, you have a 90% chance of failing. If you just take a heartbeat, just a little moment, all right. So you're walking down the street, you see this pretty girl, and in an instant you want to just bum rush her and tell her that, you're madly in love with her and you just saw her, but that's okay. And while she goes screaming down the street, or or you come up with a scenario where there's a flower stand, so you run ahead of her and grab 3 roses of different colors, and when she goes by, you hand them to her and say, they don't even compare to you. Hopefully she'll giggle and something will start, or she'll smack you with the roses and try again. Believe me, from a guy who failed more than he succeeded, I understand. I'm with you, brother. So anyway, we're going to get down to brass tacks. I'm going to do it in 2 minutes. If you don't understand that every dollar you make, you pay taxes on, Then you go to the store and you buy stuff and you pay taxes. You go to get gas and you pay like, I don't know, in New York State we pay like about, between the state and the federal taxes, probably around 30 cents a gallon in taxes. But anyway, because that all fixes the road. If all those taxes fix the road, why is the roads so bad? I don't get it. It's like the Cancer Society. We've given them trillions of dollars over the last 50 years. If you throw that much money at a problem, you should be able to solve the problem. I mean, look at AIDS. Public outcry, people spent the money, and no, they haven't cured it, but they control it, and people can have good lives. You understand? So I don't understand why the same principle doesn't apply to cancers. And why do we pay $1,000 for something somebody in England pays 140 for? Those are all other stories. Let's just close this out. It's your money. If you came home with your paycheck in your pocket and threw it on the desk, and people started grabbing money, you would stop them and say, "Whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing? Tell me at least what you want money for. Tell me how much you need. Don't tell me how much you want. Tell me what you need and what you're going to use it for. And then we'll decide if, it's worth it, or maybe I'm only going to pay for half." That's how I was taught about money. One, it was a tool, and two, you had to be accountable for it. Right? If you get it in $1,000 every 2 weeks, and at the 3 days later you don't know where your money went, you have the problem. Not the money. You. All right. That's all I got to say. Please just look at it as if it's your money. Okay? So we're going to go through this whole thing. Now, we have a voiceover person coming on that's going to do the intros and the exits, because I don't like anything I do. But let me try. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Dun, 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 dun. Thomas Nowetner, a conversationalist. I don't argue. Josh, he'll throw up all the people we support. We want you to support.
Right on, right on. Let's go through it real fast here. Let's just
all right, do it, Josh.
St. Jude's, right? We love them. We want them to keep doing what they're doing. Eric Hope, we love them. We want them to keep doing what they're doing. The Weight of My Heart, we love them. We want them to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, baby.
And Rock from the Heart, we love them, and we want them to keep doing what they're doing.
Buy tickets, buy tickets, buy tickets. Well, see? That was pretty good. I like that. But it still doesn't represent who I am. That debonair, sophisticated individual of deep and wild thoughts. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. That's how Rod Serling used to intro all those things. I just figured I'd try my best Rod Sterling. Obviously, I didn't do a good job. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. That most important thing in my life, that you have all God's blessings. If I show up next week, if it's not just an empty chair, we'll discuss how we're going to take the government back, and we're going to do it all through money. So next Monday, we already have the topic. How do you like that? Because we have to do this in 2-part, because Josh is slow. Well, Josh, got anything to say? You want to talk to these wonderful people?
I think you nailed it. I think you did a really good job. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit. I forgot that. We're still trying to figure out what's going on with the folks over at Instagram. They're silly.
I have an account at Instagram. I found it.
Yay.
So maybe we can convert that.
Let's work on that for sure.
Yeah, well, I lied. Oh, Matt. Oh, my God. I did not find it. One of the minions found it.
Thank you, minions.
Along with the help of one of the interns.
And interns.
So I have the Instagram account. We just have to do your wizard stuff. All
Right
right,
on.
I got to get out at 7 o'clock because Josh has to go. He's eating. Uh, what are you eating?
Air
It
fried
was a
wings tonight.
carcass
Monday
you
Night
found on the
Football.
road, right? What was that?
Air fried wings. Monday Night Football.
I haven't watched NFL since Christ Kaepernick or whatever his name was. They're a 501c. Do you know that every football team is a 501c? That means they're a nonprofit organization. That means they don't pay taxes. Don't get me started again. Bye, Josh.